To begin, I am skipping my foundation and going straight for the eyes, so I'm applying eye primer all over my lids. And then I am setting that with just a plain white eyeshadow. Setting that with a neutral color is going to really help blend the blues later on. So I'm starting with a light blue eyeshadow and mapping out where I want this cut crease to go. This ended up being a half cut crease, but in the beginning I thought it'd be a full cut crease, so I'm mapping out my entire lid. I'm doing it slightly above where my crease is, just because I want it to be seen while my eyes are still open. Next I am going in with a darker blue, and I'm putting that over the same exact line that I mapped out earlier and blending that out. While I was blending out this blue, I switched between using a tiny little blending brush and then using a big fluffy brush. And don't worry about it being like super clean on the bottom half of it, because you can clean up the eyelid later with concealer, and these steps are going to be super freaking repetitive. You have to do the same exact step like a million times to get it to look like it's supposed to, and especially if you're using eyeshadows that aren't super pigmented like I am, then it takes a lot of time to actually build up color that looks like it should be there and not like half-assed. So be prepared to spend a lot of time on this. And once that color was pretty nicely diffused, I went in with an even darker blue that had slight purple hints to it and basically did the same exact thing. But with this, I didn't blend it out as far and I kept it pretty concentrated to that line. And then I went in with an even darker navy blue. And I did this just because I wanted to make it a clearly dark cut crease that you could differentiate the cut crease from the lid. And again, I started out with that small blending brush and then flipped to the big one. Now to make this an actual cut crease. Well, a half cut crease, because I decided I like that better than a full cut crease. But to clean up the lid, I'm actually using a white eyeliner rather than a concealer. And this is because I wanted the inner corner to be a really light blue that's basically white. So I wanted to give it the best base possible, and that base would be white rather than a skin tone concealer. So I packed on this eyeshadow that looks white on camera, but it's actually a really light lilac. But when you pair it with blue like this, it takes on a blue tone rather than purple. And because I changed this to be a half crease rather than a full cut crease, I had to go in with some of the darker blues on the outer corner of the lid and blend it into the light purpley lilac color on the inner corner. I also decided to darken up the outer corner a tiny bit more, so I packed on some black into there and then blended it out so it looked nice and smoky. Then I added a highlighter just to the inner corner to give it a little bit more of a pop. Switching to the lower lash line, I basically repeated the colors that I did on the cut crease on the lower lashes, pretty basic. I lined the outer half of my waterline with black eyeliner and then lined the inner half with white. Then I just did a basic cat eye liner on top using a felt tip eyeliner. Then I curled my lashes, added some mascara, and popped on some super big wispy lashes. Moving on to the rest of my face, I just put on some foundation using a damp sponge. Then I set all of that with a translucent powder on a big brush. Did some basic contouring on my cheekbones, my forehead, and my nose. Then I popped on that same highlighter that I used on the inner corner of my eyes onto my cheeks. Decided last minute that I should throw on some blush, so I put that on my cheeks and a little bit on my nose. Then I applied a liquid lipstick to my lips, and for the color I decided to go with a brownish brick red. And I chose this color because I knew I wanted a dark lip, but I also didn't want it to be anything too drastic. And then the very last thing I did, because you cannot have winter without glitter, I popped on some glitter primer to my cheeks and threw on some glitter. So that is it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you want to, feel free to give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more holiday festivities. I will see you guys in the next video, so until then, later!